Hey, what is up? I'm Zaf, and welcome back to Illusion Connect. Today we are going to be taking a look at my current lineup and what partners I use in my main team. I pretty much use this team for everywhere, PvE, PvP, and I feel great about it. And let's go ahead and see my lineup. So at the moment I only have 9 of them in the team because I'm not yet level 40, but I will be adding one more to this team. And I actually feel really good about this team because I think they go really well. I'm only missing one because you can't get both of them, so I'm missing one, which I will be getting once I get my last lot at level 40. So the partners that you're seeing right now in here are the ones that are on my main team. There's a main 9, with the last one being Pan, but I can't add her yet, so that's gonna have to wait. So let's take a look at my characters and why I like them. I think it's a very balanced team. There's a balance of AoE, single target, tanking, and a little bit of healing, and they all support each other and have the same synergies and the same requirements of energy. Okay, so KIRAYA is the second partner that I got in this account, and she is absolutely probably my most favorite partner because she tanks really well, she protects your leader really well, and I just think she's very good. She's a very good character to place when the battle starts because aside from she can tank, she also deals a decent amount of damage, and she gets a 40%, her combat passive, she gains a 40% HP shield, really good for an initial character that you put there. Unfortunately, the lineup skill, I can't really achieve it because it's quite hard. It needs 5 light or healing classes partners in total, and you get a bonus of healing recovery 50% for all partners, which is actually very good. Unfortunately, I don't think you can build this unless you're building a tanky team with a leader of using the paladin. I don't know the paladin skills, but I'm guessing that that's where it's going to be really good. So her unique skill is a single target attack, which deals 500%. I think it's 400%. Yes, it's 400 plus 100% once you upgrade her. And it deals a good amount of single target, which makes it really good to place at the very first partner you place in the battle because you will be hitting the enemy leader. And she also grants a really good barrier, 20% of her HP to the allies on the same column, which means you can put a barrier on your leader and anybody else that's on the same column with her. I think that's really good because it's her unique skill, so you repeatedly use it every time. And since you're going to be placing her first, she is going to take damage, which means she's going to build up her rage meter faster. And what I've noticed is that the lesser partners you have on the field, the faster the rage meter goes, so she is just really good to place. Her second and her other skills are very basic. There's really nothing crazy about them, but she reduces the enemy rage meter, the regen of everyone in a battle when she joins the battle if you have her at 5-star, and Fury gives her a shield, an extra 10% shield. I think she's a very good character too. She is S rated on the tier list, but I think she is God tier. She makes your life very easy, and that's why she's my most favorite. So MAKI is, I would say, the second most favorite character I have, even though she is the first hero that I got in this account. Actually, I was re-rolling, and she was my second re-roll. And I actually wanted to get the God tier, quote unquote God tier heroes like Yuffie, Kasumi, MIYUKI, and who was the other one? Oh my goodness, I'm having a brain fart. But there's 4 God tiers. But then I read her skills and I was like, ooh, she deals damage when she dies, and her allies deal damage when they die. So she kind of has that bomb effect, which I think is very good because no matter how many things the leader places in front of them, it will not be blocked. They will take the damage, and I think that's very good. Another God tier in my opinion. And she has an lineup requirement that has to have your team average lineup team to be 14 energy or below, which I achieved that. That's very nice. It has been very useful. It has been a godsend for me in PvE. So, her unique skill is that she deals 400%. I think it gets boosted at 4-star. Yes, that's a 500% scaling. That's a 500% scaling on her a single target. Has an 80% chance to deal another hit that deals 135%, and another 25% chance to hit for 100%. I think she's very good to place. You know, just like KIRAYA, she's also very good to place at the very first because she can deal damage. And they also have an option here in the legendary thing, where if you get Hotaru, Saya, and her to a total of 13 stars, you will be granted a 10% extra damage to the enemy leader, which just makes her really, really good as someone you would place on the very first turn. So what else does she have? Yeah, that's a very, very basic single target. Other skills, and what does she have? I'm not remembering. Yeah, she also can at 6 stars she can deal damage, but 50% of the damage she deals to a partner. She will also deal to the enemy leader, but it only really procs like 30% of the time. It's not very dependable, but it's still another thing that helps her deal damage to the enemy leader. The next one we have is another single target, which is Saya. Another favorite of mine. I feel like everyone in my lineup right now is my favorite because they just flow really well together. So her combat passive is a skill that when she uses her unique skill, she has a 24% chance to instantly kill an enemy partner that she hits. I don't think it's very great, but you know, it's something. I primarily have her because she is someone that I use to nuke the enemy leader because it has a 500% scaling, and she is good for dealing with enemy partners in case you need to do that because she deals an extra 15% of the max HP of enemy partners, and her other skills are just single target. I use her because she has really good single target capabilities, and she's also only 10 energy, so she's very easy to use. Also, you get her for free and you can upgrade her for free, so there's no reason to not use her. So the next character we have is Anne, another favorite of mine on the SRs because she does so many things. Anne's combat passive increases her damage by 16.5%, and let's go to her unique skill first because that's her main thing. So as I said, she does so many things. She can deal a decent, actually a good amount of single target damage, and after that she can summon the Ice Queen and the Mermaid Princess, which they don't really attack. They're just there for body blockers. They're just there to tank for you, which is very good because she's one of sometimes I place her on the very first turn when I don't have anyone else. I don't get KIRAYA or who else? I don't get KIRAYA or MAKI. I use her because it does get 100% of her defense and 50% of her health. Now, if I can achieve the lineup skill, which is the same as Maki's, oh no, it's not the same, but again, your lineup should not have more than 2 parts of the same energy. Both her summons get 60% max HP, which gives it a total of 110% HP. 110% HP and her 100% defense. Oh, and it's not just that. Both her summons can give a bonus damage and bonus damage rest for your entire team. For her upgrades, she only gets rage in here, so it's not so reliable, but I think Anne is just really good. She does so many things. She has a decent single target. She's not squishy, and she can summon body blockers that can help your entire team. And I think she does so many things, and you get so much value just for an SR character. Now let's go to FENEBETH. I think she is the third SSR that I have in this account, and at first I was quite underwhelmed by her because, well, she does deal damage and that's that, but she primarily is there to counter healing teams because her combat passive gives the enemy team a curse for 2 rounds, and while this curse does deal damage also on their turn, it's not really the main deal, but the main thing about her curse is that all heals that the enemies receive are converted to damage, which means aside from they can't heal, they are also slowly killing themselves every time they heal. Now, the drawback of this skill is that it only procs when you first put her on the field, but at 5-star she can cast the curse again once she dies. So if you want to use her to counter healing teams, you have to know when to place her. I think that's the only main drawback. She's also really good at dealing with, she has an AoE that hits the entire team, but she is also really good for healing class because she deals additional damage to healers, and she has a basic other skills. So she is primarily here for her utility. I can use her to counter healing teams, example teams that have Ana. So yeah, she is there for utility and AoE damage. The next one is an SR hero that you can get for free, which is Jasmine. Another god tier for me, god tier SSR, because it's actually like, I don't know if she's a healer or a sniper, because I use her to snipe the enemy leader, because her ability, her unique ability, which aside from it does a healing skill, it also deals a decent amount of damage to the enemy that has the least HP. So if you can have the enemy leader to have the lowest HP, you can use her to snipe, and you get a bonus heal as a bonus. And also, she is really good because she has an attack buff. It's not so much, it's 11% of allies on the same row, and increase their defense by 44%. Now, I actually use this, like, if I can get the lineup correctly, I would put KIRAYA first on the field, and then I would use Anne to boost KIRAYA's defense even more, and then I would put Jasmine below KIRAYA because it boosts her defense even more, which makes her so tanky, and I would be very tanky at the start of the turn. So that's what I kind of do with that Jasmine if I don't use her to nuke. Her lineup requirement is that she does not require 2 parts of the same team. It's the same as Anne. So if you can get that, she can heal for 20% max HP to an ally partner every time she does something. That's very good, because she can heal with this skill, she can heal with her combat passive, and she can also heal with her proccing skill at 5-star. It procs at 5-star, but it's an additional heal. I think she is really good. She heals so much. She has 3 healing skills, and she can also deal a decent amount of damage. I think she's like a god tier SR as well. The next one is Miyuki. As I said, I don't really have the god tier characters like Miyuki, Kasumi. Who am I forgetting? Miyuki, Kasumi, Yuffie. I can't remember. So I just got Miyuki today, so I've been playing the game without any of those really strong characters, at least in the tier. I got her today, and Miyuki is one, probably, I don't know if she's the best hero in the game, best partner in the game, because she controls the battle. She controls the battle with this passive, because she can reduce rage meter every time she deals damage to anyone, which means they get delayed in casting their skills, which is a very big thing in this game. Like the normal attacks are something, the procs on their extra skill are unreliable. It's really the skill that makes the heroes, that defines what they do in the battle, and if you can delay them from doing that, I think that's really big. She also has a damage on a column, I think. A giant food attacks the enemy team. A column, so it procs every time she attacks. That is her main role, to slow the enemy team. She also has an extra skill at 5-star, which reduces the enemy leader's rage, which slows them down even more, and a depth penetration on her other skill. I think she's a very good utility. Like, if you're starting the game, that's why she's very good to reroll for, because if you get one of her on your reroll, you get another copy to because she starts 3-star, right? You get another copy for a 4-star and another copy for a 5-star, and you just need one more copy to max her out. She is really good. Definitely someone you would want to reroll for. The next one we have is GIGI, the tiny GIGI, which is she does a very good like 480 single target damage at 3-star, and she ramps up. Like every time she takes a turn, she increases her attack, which stacks onto 5, and then another energy requirement of 14 or less. She gives a 15% attack buff to every partner in the team that has a 14 energy or less energy requirement. That means she's going to boost up MAKI, Saya, Jasmine, herself, and RIKIA, which are my primary attackers to deal damage to the enemy leader. So that's very nice. They combine that with everything, all of the bonuses, including the leader skill that grants a 30% extra damage to the enemy leader. It's very solid. This is a very balanced, but at the same time a very aggressive team. You can also use her to deal a single target to the enemy, and she also has a guaranteed stun. This is like an SSR, like a guaranteed stun. And if you upgrade her to 4-star, she will increase her defense by 22% every time she takes action. So if you can keep her alive long enough, she can become quite decently tanky while at the same time dealing so much damage. So she's very nice. She supports, she attacks, like she protect, but she also attack. So the next one we have is RIKIA. She is an AoE dealer, which I kind of use her as an attacker. Like I don't use her specifically for anything, but she is like a filler in case I need to deal with a group of enemies, or if I need to deal damage to the enemy leader. So she hits the entire team, and her combat passive is that she dispels debuffs from your allies, and every time she dispels anything, a debuff, she increases her max HP by 16.5. So she's kind of very balanced. She deals damage, but she also can make herself a bit tanky. And her scaling isn't like super crazy, but I think it's quite decent. And she also can put debuffs, namely stun, silence, or reduce attack or reduce defense. She can put one of those when she uses her skill. It's not very reliable. It's not something that you should be relying, but more of a filler skill in case you want to crowd control. I think that's pretty much what she does. Yeah, she also has a silence, but it's on her. It's not very reliable. I think she is very good as a filler in case you want to just deal damage or like deal with a bunch of enemies. So the last one I'm going to put in my team is Pan. Pan is very strong. If you get her very early in the game, you are gonna have a great time, because if you can place her first on the field, she will deal a ton of damage, because for every blank space, for every empty slot on the battlefield, she will increase her attack by 4.5%, and I think that scales really well. It's either you use her very early in the game or you use her last, as long as she can stack her passive. And she also deals a good amount of single target, 480% single target damage, and aside from that, she also can kind of block recovery, which like 80% healing recovery, which is a very good amount for 3 rounds. So it doesn't deal damage, but she can block the healing, which is very good. If you place her in the very first partner you place, you can deal a very significant amount of damage to the enemy leader, and at the same time prevent them from healing back from that damage. I think that is very awesome. She is very strong, and I cannot wait to place her in my team, because after I place her in my team, I can get the bonus in here. I can get this extra 8% attack and 8% crit rate, with which I would get all of the bonuses, because you can't really get both of these at the same time, because you would need 12 slots to get both. So yeah, I have been talking for 20 minutes. That's kind of stressful. So this is my current team right now. I feel really good about it. I am progressing to the stages Like, you know what? Build whatever you want to build. Like, you have so many things you can experiment in this game. Like, don't just depend on the tier list where they say God tier, because some characters are not rated really high, but if you can mix out the right deck, they will work together. And I probably was rambling in this video because I can't compose myself when I'm making long videos, so anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you kinda understood my team and how I feel really good about the team I'm using right now. And I am going to be uploading like some PvP videos and maybe the illusion corridor. And yeah, that is it for this video. I hope I'm repeating myself now. I'm just gonna go, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.